Greetings. It is I, Crystallia, and I chose to be the first person to speak this evening because the last time that we got together, we closed with Love is Here. And then with what Shelly was just explaining to you, that's exactly what we're talking about. The love vibration, the love frequency is here. It is present. It is a part of life. It is a part of everything that's been going on. So I think it's important for us to kind of set the energies this evening, whether it's this evening or any other evening. Plus, it's my turn to go first, as we say, the way that the three of us juggle things back and forth. But spirituality is really the word spirituality, and what it means is literally undergoing a new transformation at this time on the earth plane. In the past, when people talked about being spiritual, the vast majority considered that to be someone that was religious, someone that knew the doctrine, someone that followed a particular religion, and that's why they were religious, and that's what spirituality meant. Where we are right now, and we have been moving away from that. There's nothing wrong with the doctrine as long as it's filled with love and light. So I'm not saying go away from the doctrine, but what we're seeing and what needs to happen is no matter what your religious affiliation, every single person needs to find where is that spirituality inside of them, because spirituality is actually a conduit, or it's a way of connecting to your own soul. Your soul that you have, the more that you bring it into your physical reality, into your physical body, into your emotions, your thoughts, your beliefs, the more that you bring your soul into that, the more spiritual that you are. So another way of defining spirituality is that link to your soul, which in turn is the link to the universal light, which is in turn is the link to that universal energy that comes from that pure God source energy. There has always been a God. That's the word you used for him, the almighty being, what are some of those? Call them like the prime, but anyway, there's different words that might refer to it. But when we speak of God in this group, and what I speak of God, I'm talking about God that comes from the central sun, God that is that which is pure love and light essence, which is pure vibration of that just reverberates through everything. And every single one of you have that within you. You may not think about it ever. You may not think that you have it, but you do. And the way that it is within you is through that direct link into your soul. So how do you work with your soul? You work with your soul through opening up to a greater allowing, or a greater what do we want to call it? Conversation, you might say, with your intuition. When you have you, the human that's right here. And then when you shift your vibration up a little bit, when you go into your right brain, when you're just processing, how many of you might be the type that you might sit down and talk and write something, or maybe you're walking out in the woods, or maybe you're doing something and there's something that's processing, that's going around in the back of your mind that is causing you to just try to come to a decision for something, or try to work out a problem, whatsoever that may be. That is you opening up to your divinity. And in your divinity, you are connecting to your intuition. So this is, and that right there in your everyday life is your link into your spirituality. So you can call it many, many other things. You can give it a great deal more definition. You can talk about the different ways in which it affects you every day. But your spirituality is, in essence, your intuition. Now, where does that come in? Through your third eye. It comes in through connecting to your higher self. It comes in through multiple different ways. And this is what is in the process of being activated as we speak. So with the eclipses that they've had this month, with the equinox that just happened a couple of days ago, All of those things have been about impulses of energy that are coming in that are nudging humanity to make the opening to the awareness that is most important for them. Now, let me talk for another minute. I've got some great questions here that I'm going to come back around to in just a minute. But let me talk for a minute about discernment. You, as humanity, are coming out of a phase in the history of your planet Earth in which there's been massive control and manipulation. Within that control and manipulation, it changed the frequency within all of you. It changed that part of your consciousness that was directly linked into your soul so that it caused you to have the perception that you were not linked, that you do not have a connection to your soul. Or if you do, you have to go through this big convoluted pathway to get there. And that was a deliberate intention. And we're talking about millions and billions of people here, that this is what has happened to them. So I would say, since 2012 was when it was that breakthrough energetically into the fifth dimension. And from that point on, it's been pouring in energy of the higher, lighter frequency. And that's what began breaking down those old patterns. Now, did it cause millions of people to all wake up one day and say, oh, wait, something's been going on here, I'm not going to go along with it? No, it didn't work like that, as you are very well aware. But that was the opening of the door. And since then, it's been like a massive crescendo. I mean, even that was 13 years ago, quite a while ago. So that is why, as we talk about this breaking down of those old paradigm, breaking down of the matrix, as you call it, all of those things had to take place in the way that they did, that very methodical way, in order to allow for this higher vibration to become a part of the consciousness, to become a part of society, to become a part of every person. So each one of you that are listening, we know you're going, Yan, yes, I know this already. However, there are millions of people that have just gone through an event in which this is all triggering within them. And they're beginning to say, hey, I don't think I agree with what this person over here is saying. I don't think I agree with the morals that this person is saying. I don't think, they're beginning to consciously wake up and realize or recognize that I don't agree with the status quo as it has been. Instead, I stand for, and this is really, really important. Now, of course, the end result of everything is open acceptance, allowing, compassion. And of course, what's the foundation of that? Love. So what needs to happen, or what every single person needs to do, is learn to have that ability that you can see other people and you can understand what they're saying. That is not saying you agree with everything, but you can see them, you can acknowledge them, you can recognize that they're having a very, very, very different life experience than I'm having, but they're still, in most cases, doing their best. They're still learning whatever it is that they need to learn, and they're coming along at whatever pattern or whatever direction it is that they need to come. When you begin to look at it like that, then you're beginning to see all of humanity with that understanding that you're all part of humanity. The divisions that have taken place, or that have become so very apparent, especially over this past month, is the problem. It's that division. And so even though you may think, oh, I'm on the side that's for the right, that's for, supporting, division is division is division. And it's an energy that gets put out to the universe. So this is why I think it's so important to take a moment and just talk about it, to say that you are all humans. You are all a sacred individual. You are all directly linked into your soul. And through that, you all have value. You all have the ability to look at everyone else through the eyes of love, compassion, what I've been saying. So I would love for all of humanity to seek balance, to seek compassion, to seek awareness. And in that, you will begin to let go the judgment. You will let go the division. You will let go what has so strongly separated humanity at this time. You needed to go through all of that you've been going through in order to have a better understanding of where you are right now. It's like there have been different spiritual people over the years that have talked about, that those people that push you and really show you what you don't want are the ones that are really there and helping you, because it helps you to decide for yourself what you do want. And discernment is the number one key. Now then, let us also talk about the many different things. Of course, I'm aware of the social media. I'm aware of the ways in which people communicate. And so I know how people can listen and read and look, and they think, oh, this is someone I absolutely love. But gee whiz, they're saying this. Do I agree? Do I disagree? So become accustomed to listening to your own personal discernment, because then no matter who is talking to you, you will know what is the truth for you and what is the truth that keeps you in that higher, lighter frequency. Okay, so those were some of my main points that I wanted to talk about right here. And in fact, I think it would be really important for each one of you if you just, like, when you get up in the morning, just make that affirmation for yourself. Today, I'm going to be in a place of balance within me. And then you go about your business, you have your experiences, and I'm willing to bet that some of you may find partway through the day or even towards the end of the day, think, I didn't have as many trauma as I usually did. I didn't get stuck in traffic or mad in traffic. And when you've done this several times, you'll begin to realize how it's manifesting in your everyday life, because it will. It cannot help but manifest. For others, it may be that you put forth that statement and then immediately things are bumping up against it and you're becoming frustrated or whatever it is. So then you have that wonderful opportunity to say, look at what's going on here. I'm coming back into my balance, back into my space of being connected to my divinity. And then in doing so, I'm going to come back around to this situation. So food for thought, just asking you if it resonates with you, then maybe consider something like that. Now then, someone had written there were like 3 questions, and I think all from the same person, but it also goes right along with what I'm saying here. So the first one is, can you explain what Jesus was trying to teach all of us about love, light, and what Christ and God has always been in us? Can you explain the true story of Mary Magdalene, and then what is love? That's all exactly what I have been talking about. And if one person is asking these questions, then chances are everybody is asking these questions. So when Christ walked on the earth, he was not in a particular religion. He was here. He came in, he incarnated with all the people around him that were of a similar vibration, that were all there to have the experience that they have, and to bring in the Christ energy, which was a completely different vibration and frequency than what was on the planet at that time. And it worked, because even all these many, many thousands of years later, people are still talking about, people know exactly what it is. Now then, so he came in to break the cycle and to break the mold that was filled with corruption. These same people that you are currently bringing down or have brought down are the same generic or genre or whatever you want to call them. It's the same essence that was in place back at that time. And if you think about those stories that you were told about the selfishness, the greed, the way in which so many people were living, those vast extremes of the severe poverty and those that were not, the slavery and those that have, it was almost exactly what you have been going through in a different phase at this time. So isn't it interesting how you get to the extreme and then it breaks down, something new comes in to create a change. Now, let me be very, very clear with you. I could never have come in 2,000 years ago and been a part of a transition. The vibration at that time was so very low. It's amazing that Jesus and Mary and all of that group were able to even tolerate being on the earth. They went to sacred places. They created sacred places for themselves where they could where they could nourish their energies and where they could revitalize themselves. So that's Jesus Christ is not about a religion. He is about the Christ energy. And this is the exact energy that I'm speaking about that each one of you have within yourself. So that's what they brought in. It cracked open the paradigm of what was going on, and then it set forth the potential that this would happen right now. When you look at Buddha, when you look at several other prophets and people that have been on earth at different times, they were also all trying to bring about a change that would break down that old paradigm so that the new could come in. So what's one of the biggest differences about now is he took the vibration and frequency and raised it several notches so that it could allow for the potential for what we have right now to come in. And it worked often, it worked throughout that whole time since he was on the earth to bring you to where you are now. So where we are now is the earth plane is getting rid of once and for all those people that created that service to self, just to call it one, the cabal, whatever word you want to use for it. But you guys have been the ones that have been anchoring this vibration, this high vibrational frequency that has allowed for these changes to take place on earth. And so going back to why him, because he volunteered, because he knew he could do it. Why was Mother Mary and Joseph and the apostles, why were they all around him? Because they all volunteered. They knew it was going to be very, very challenging, but they all volunteered to do it. The question about Mary Magdalene, she was his soulmate. She was his wife during those lifetimes. And just to give you an example, when you look at the Bible, and now the Bible, I'm not going to get into a discussion about that. And these churches that came up as a result of that, when you look at them, they came up 100, 200 years later, and they were done with the clear intention of, we're going to control the narrative. We're going to tell you what you can believe. We're going to tell you what you can understand. And the vast majority has been interpreted in ways that were not supportive of what it was intended. You also have to realize that at that time, there were ETs that were coming in and out of the earth plane, and many of them were not for the benefit of humanity, but it was feeding that underlying energy. And that was one of the reasons why Jesus came in when he did, was to get rid of or break down or give an alternative to that ET presence that was here. Okay, so Mary Magdalene, soulmate, his wife, and yes, they were married, and yes, they had one child, Sarah, I believe her name was. There was another child that didn't live past infancy, but yes, they were married and they had a life together. Now, let me just show you exactly what you're experiencing here. In the stories, they talked about Mary Magdalene was, what did they call her? Harlot, or loose woman, and she was stoned to death. So why did they portray her as that? Because it's an inversion of what she truly was. What she truly was the wife of Christ. She was the one that worked with him. She was the one that in any of these deep relationships, they were together. And anyway, so that was the explanation of that. What is love? Love, it's hard to define love with words that simply that define love. It's almost as if you need to look at the expression of love is how you understand what love is. Love is infinite. Love is unconditional. Love is accepting. Love is compassion. Love is awareness. Love is, oh, it's bringing up a lot of emotion in Shelly. But love is the foundation of these higher, lighter frequencies. So that's why we have spoken so much about bringing in love, about opening to love, about understanding spirituality. You could also say love is spirituality, or spirituality is love, howsoever you do that. It's that recognition that that you are your true, unique individual self, but yet you're also part of something much bigger. You are all here in support of one another. You are here with a clear intention that this is a time of coming together in support and love and acceptance. When that is the focus, when that is the foundation, then all these many things that have been dividing you cannot exist, because love, light, vibration, frequency, everything that you are and everything that you've been bringing in so fully surpasses any of that negativity. So let your focus be upon love. Oh boy, just saw something. Thank you, Kim. Whew. Let your focus be upon love. Feel the love for yourself. Whew. Feel the love for mankind. Feel the love for source energy. Oof. It is massive. And let that be what you feel. No matter what your circumstances may be, everybody struggles at one time or another. Everybody feels alone and isolated and alone. So no matter what you may be feeling, no matter what your circumstances are, open and know that love is within you. Love is here for you. Whew. And of course, in this community, there's just love for each one of you. Whew. I hope you understand now what love is. Okay, I'm just going to take a second here and calm down. When I speak about the omniverse, and when I speak about other locations and different life experiences, this is what those experiences are based on. It's based on this love. It's based on this inner knowing of who you are and how you're connected to everyone, and how life is, and life force is not just something one person has, but everybody has. And it's that interconnection that brings about love and compassion and everything that is supportive. You are here at this critical time. I call it critical because with the passing of Charlie Kirk and that upswell of love that just took place, it could spike and then things go back pretty much to what they were. So I'm asking each one of you to tap into that swell of love that's happening right now and keep it going. You can do it in your prayers, in your meditations. You can do it just as you're moving through your day, but take an opportunity to continue to send love, light, compassion, not only into the collective consciousness, but into everybody that's here present on the earth, because love is in everyone and love is for everyone. Whew. So how about that for a start this evening? Whoa, I could feel so much the vibration and the frequency, and know that each one of you can do and say exactly as I have just said. Thank you for sharing this time on Saluia.